They're watching you right now. Not the critics, not the crowd, someone with serious power, someone who holds the keys to doors you haven't even found yet. They just noticed two things about you, two quiet, undeniable truths you've been trying to hide. And now, they're obsessed. You think you're invisible because you haven't announced your arrival. You think nobody sees the late nights, the swallowed pride, the silent battles you fight before sunrise. But you're dead wrong. The architect of your destiny has been taking notes. And when power spots potential, it doesn't just watch, it moves. Let's go back to Pittsburgh, November 1952. A 20-year-old named Marcus Vance stands knee-deep in freezing water at the bottom of a cracked drainage culvert. His hands are raw. His knuckles bleed through split leather gloves. The foreman told him to patch it quick and walk away. But Marcus didn't walk. He stayed. He mixed the concrete by hand, packed it tight, and smoothed it with a wooden float until his shoulders shook. Up on the ridge, a retired civil engineer named Arthur Vance sat on a folding chair, smoking a pipe, watching through a pair of heavy binoculars. Arthur wasn't family. He wasn't a boss. He was a man who built bridges that survived 2 world wars. He saw something in Marcus that nobody else caught. 2 things, specifically. First, Marcus never blamed the weather, the pay, or the dirt. Second, Marcus treated invisible work like it mattered. Arthur didn't say a word that night. He just made a call the next morning. Within 3 years, Marcus ran a crew of 40 men. Arthur funded the equipment. He backed the vision. Why? Because power recognizes pattern, and the pattern was already in place. But here's the thing, you don't feel seen, you feel buried, you carry the weight of quiet ambition in a world that only applauds noise. You scroll past other people's highlight reels at midnight, wondering why your own story feels stuck in first gear. You've tried, you've poured yourself into projects that collapsed, relationships that fractured, plans that got buried under rent and responsibility. The doubt creeps in, it whispers that you're running in circles, that you're too far behind to catch up, that maybe you should just settle, collect the paycheck, and let the dream collect dust. The ghosts of unfulfilled potential are already gathering at the foot of your bed. How many will be standing there when your time comes? How many almost will you have to explain to your own reflection? You think invisibility is a punishment. It's not. It's a forge. But the heat will break anyone who refuses to lean into it. Comfort is a slow poison. It numbs the edges until you forget you ever had them. And if you keep outsourcing your worth to people who only measure what's loud, you'll spend your whole life waiting for applause that never comes. The point is this, visibility isn't the goal. Alignment is. The person with serious power isn't scrolling your feed. They're reading your rhythm. They're tracking your response to friction. When you choose to keep going after the door slams, that's a signal. When you show up with nothing but grit and a stubborn refusal to fold, that's a frequency. And frequencies attract attention from places you can't yet see. You don't need a spotlight. You need a standard. Raise it. Hold it. The darkest moment isn't your grave. It's the loading dock. You are not your circumstances, you are the vessel. And the architect doesn't hand blueprints to the fragile, they hand them to the faithful. So let me tell you something. If you want to change your trajectory, you must stop waiting for validation to begin. Rule number 1 is this. Discipline is the only language power understands. Most people think sacrifice means losing yourself. That's a lie. Sacrifice means trading temporary comfort for permanent capacity. It's waking up early when your bones ache. It's reading one page when your mind screams for distraction. It's doing the reps, sending the email, making the call, building the system when the room is empty and the applause is silent. These aren't minor habits. They're compounding interest for your destiny. One drop of consistency becomes a stream becomes a river carves through stone. You want impossible turned possible? You don't pray for it. You pour yourself into it. You earn it with calluses. You claim it with repetition. When you stack small wins, the higher forces don't just nod. They step into the arena. They clear the path. They open the doors. Stop negotiating with your own potential. Stop treating your vision like a hobby. Lock in. Protect the process. If you want to change the world around you, you have to conquer the chaos inside you first. Think about that. In 1938, inside a cramped workshop in Geneva, a young apprentice named Julian worked 16-hour days polishing microscopic gears for a master horologist named Elias Vogt. The clients never saw Julian's name, they only saw the ticking final product, but Vogt watched. He noticed 2 things. First, Julian never rushed the invisible parts. Second, Julian never stopped refining his own hands, even when the metal wasn't his. Vogt didn't praise him, he simply handed him the master's keys on a quiet Tuesday in April. 2 years later, Julian was designing timepieces for royalty. Why? Because excellence leaves a fingerprint on every layer, and power doesn't need your name to recognize your craft. It only needs your proof. You got that same fingerprint on your soul, you just forgot how to read it. But let's be real. You're carrying battles right now that feel too heavy to name. Maybe it's a business that keeps collapsing. Maybe it's a creative well that's running dry. Maybe it's a silence so thick it echoes. The critics are loud. They say you're chasing a mirage. They say you're too broken, too late, too ordinary. And you start to believe them because exhaustion turns kings into ghosts. You sit in traffic and wonder if this is the ceiling. You stare at a bank account that doesn't match the effort. You feel the clock ticking like a countdown to irrelevance. Here's what most people don't understand. Fear of wasted potential isn't a motivational speech. It's a daily tax, and you've been paying it in installments. You've let doubt rent space in your head for free, but I'll say it again. The ceiling isn't solid, it's paper. It only looks real until someone stops knocking and starts tearing. You are not your past failures. You are the sum of what you refuse to abandon. Let me be clear. You are not fighting a popularity contest. You are fighting a momentum war. Every time you choose delayed gratification, you tip the scales toward destiny. Every time you swallow your pride and keep building in the dark, you align with the force that moves mountains in silence. The observer isn't looking for perfection. They're looking for persistence. And when your daily habits match your deepest purpose, you stop begging for protection. You become the shield. You don't ring the bell. You don't hand your potential to the loudest voice in the room. You stand your ground. You trust the grind. You let the evidence speak for you. And if you want to change your environment, you must change your energy output. Rule number 2 is this: consistency outlives intensity every single time. You've been sprinting until you break, then resting until you forget the mission. That's not commitment. That's chaos. Real power lives in the repetition. Wake up, train, build, reflect, repeat. Not when you feel inspired, when you feel dead, especially when you feel dead. The architects of legacy didn't rely on motivation. They relied on covenant. They made promises to themselves and kept them when the world called them stubborn. You want courage? Courage isn't the absence of fear. It's the decision that something else matters more. It's stepping into the arena with bruised ribs and saying, "Try me." It's taking risks when the safe route looks comfortable. It's being brave when the crowd calls you reckless. If you want to fall forward instead of falling flat, you have to detach your ego from the outcome and attach it to the effort. Work hard when the camera's off. Dream big when the room is quiet. Fail forward when the door slams. The higher power isn't waiting for you to arrive flawless. They're waiting for you to arrive faithful. So stop counting the days. Make the days count. If you want to change the narrative, you have to write it in ink, not pencil. Remember this: the quietest workers build the tallest monuments. Now, let's talk about what really separates the chosen from the distracted. Rule number 3 is this: your struggle is not a punishment. It's a promotion. Every rejection letter, every empty room, every sleepless night, every moment you wanted to quit but didn't. That's the crucible. You think protection means a smooth road? Protection means you get given a mountain so you can learn how to climb. Gratitude isn't for the easy days. It's for the brutal ones. It's thanking the fire for hardening the steel. It's thanking the silence for teaching you to hear your own voice. You were born for this, not despite your scars, but because of them. Faith isn't closing your eyes to reality. It's opening them wider to possibility. Believe in the unseen. Believe in the compounding effect of showing up when it hurts. Believe that the same force that guides tides and seasons is aligning in your favor. Not only that, but the sacrifices you make today are the foundation for someone else's survival tomorrow. And if you want to keep going when every cell tells you to stop, you have to anchor your purpose in something larger than yourself. Serve someone who can't pay you back. Teach someone who's behind you. Protect someone smaller. That's how you multiply your strength. That's how you honor the past. That's how you become the person you need to become. So let me tell you something. You think you're alone in this? Look at your hands. Look at your reflection. You are a living archive of survival. Every breath you take is paid for by generations who didn't make it to see tomorrow. You owe it to them to make tomorrow count. The ghosts of unfulfilled potential will not claim you. Not today. Not ever. You are not your circumstances. You are the architect of what comes next. And if you want to change your life, you have to stop treating it like a rehearsal. This is the main stage. The lights are on. The crowd is waiting. Step into it. Fall forward, take the hit, get back up. Your finest hour isn't behind you. It's waiting for you to claim it. The clock is already running. Time is the only non-renewable resource you'll ever have. Spend it like a man who knows what it costs to lose it. You don't need permission to begin. You just need the audacity to continue. Listen, the power that noticed you didn't do it by accident. They saw your quiet refusal to fold. They saw your unbroken commitment to the unseen work. And now they're moving on your behalf. But power only meets preparation halfway. You have to step forward. You have to meet it. Don't ring the bell. Don't tap out. Don't hand your destiny to the highest bidder of distraction. Stand your ground. Earn it. Claim it. Work hard when it's ugly. Stay disciplined when it's loud. Keep faith when it's dark. Show gratitude when it's hard. Become the force your bloodline prayed for. Turn impossible into possible. Change the world by changing yourself. The protection runs deep, but it only activates when you move. So breathe, lock your shoulders, step into the arena, and never give up.